What I think I do a little differently is I don't approach clothing as gendered. A custom suit isn't really particularly a man's garment or a woman's garment, right? It is just a piece of garment that you can use. So when you see a lot of my design work, the way I market, the way I conceptualize the styles and the shoots, it's all very fluid. The joy that's coming from within, you can't really fake that. That ultimate joy at the end where they're like, this is who I want the world to see me as for so long that I couldn't communicate it, but now it's here.
Forget everything you knew about suits. Shao Yang is rewriting the rules, one bespoke piece at a time. Stay tuned to this next episode with Shao Yang. We're going to delve into what it means to have a custom piece made, why it's important, and her new line, Shao New York. Let's dive in. Thank you for being on the show today.
Thank you for having me.
So I've known Shao for a little over 10 years, about.
Yeah. I think over 10 years now.
Okay, over 10 years. And I've been so honored and blessed to not only wear her suits, but to work with you in such a really fun space for me. Creating and coming to creating visions. And you really do that with just I look at you sketch something out really fast and I'm just blown away how talented you are. So thank you for coming on the show today. And I want to talk about some things obviously about you, but why have you chosen, let's talk about the first business, the tailoring. What was your vision with that, and why was it so important for you to create?
I created the tailoring because, I really was looking something for myself.
Okay.
For selfish reasons, right? So I always loved tailored clothing. I always loved suiting. And I worked in the industry for a very long time. And being one of the only women in a very male-dominated scene. Well, this was over 15 years ago, right? So at that time, custom suiting was really only for men. And even the people working in the industry were also men. So being one of the only women working, it was very hard for me to translate my love for custom tailoring into my own wardrobe because it wasn't readily available. So during that time, I really honed in on my knowledge of tailoring and really learn more about the human anatomy and how to create garments that really not only flatter your frame, but really affirm who you are and your own personal style.
Yeah.
So then after being in it for so long and not being able to find something for myself, I started making things for myself. And that kind of caught on with some of my clients. They loved what I was wearing and they wanted it for their significant others, their mothers, and they always ask me where they can get it. And I'm like, you can't because I made it for myself. But I really found that niche was not something that people were going after. And I think it's a really important space. So I created that out of sheer need. But then now I think it's really important that I started it because it has grown so much. And it is one of the brands that people go to because it's fully inclusive. It really helps people find their personal style. It helps them feel really confident in their own skin and really affirms their daily life, their identity. So I think it has become such an important space for people to feel welcomed and seen and heard. So glad I started it, and I really look forward to expanding it even further so that it's made more readily available.
I like that.
So
tell me, you're one of the only women that does custom suiting for women and non-gender. Is that correct?
I think in the beginning when I first started, I was probably one of a few. There was maybe 2 or 3 brands that was kind of doing what I was doing. Now I think, and it's a good thing to see, now it has expanded quite a bit and women suiting is readily more available. But what I think I do a little differently is I don't approach clothing as gendered, right? So a custom suit isn't really particularly a man's garment or woman's garment, right? It is just a piece of garment that you can use to tell your own story. So I think the way I approach it is a little bit differently. And we have grown past just suiting. Like now we make all tailored clothing. It could be a cape, it could be a dress, it could be a jumpsuit, it could be a corset, it could be whatever you want, right? So I think it's important that we keep having these conversations and keep pushing the boundaries on what fashion could mean for the individual.
I love that you are pushing fashion. So talk to me about, like, this is one of your passions.
Yeah.
This is something that you're really trying to change. What are you trying to change in the fashion industry right now?
I think it's changing. I mean, fashion is fashion, right? I mean, it's a billion-dollar industry that's been around forever. And I don't think anything is truly, truly new in fashion. Like everything comes from an inspiration from somewhere else. It's recycled, you know, and it's a very collaborative environment. So I don't think anything is ever truly different and new. But I think when I started Shao and I started Tailoring, what I want to see different is for it to be truly more inclusive, right? And to not fully exist on the binary. Like right now, with changes, you're starting to see it happen, but it is still very like, are you menswear designer or are you a womenswear designer? It's never, are you just a designer, right? Like it's still very binary. And I really wanted to change that a little bit. So when you see a lot of my design work, the way I market, the way I conceptualize the styles and the shoots, it's all very fluid. And I think that's the future. And that's what people, I think, want to see.
Yeah. I've seen that in your last two shows too, with not the Tailoring, but Shao New York.
Yeah.
So talk to me about how this idea came about for you to create this line.
I think Shao New York is a personal project that has taken off on its own, and I'm feeling really, really grateful for that. But what I wanted to say with Shao New York is Cone was like my personal essay into what I think tailoring and streetwear can be like combined together. Because if you really think about it, a lot of times tailoring, people only perceive tailoring as something very formal for special events, for suiting, for like corporate wear. And people think streetwear as like your traditional hoodie and sweatpants, like something you wear like very just casually on the street. But I think in the world that we live in, especially New York City, there's such a fusion of the two in your daily life, right? So I wanted to create a collection that kind of tells the story of how tailored streetwear would be like, and tailored streetwear that doesn't really exist on the binary also. So that's kind of just fusing my two passions into one little brand. So I hope to continue telling that story.
Yeah, it was so cool to see men in like skirts and like, but it was such a mix of what I think masculine and feminine, right? But like, or non-binary, because it's both or it's neither.
Yeah.
But it was just with the leather and the denim and the mix of fabrics. And I mean, just the creativity that went behind, especially this last show. I was truly blown away. And I've been honored, guys, for 4 years now to be invited to her shows. And I remember the first time I was like, wait, you do Fashion Week?
Yeah. Wait, which one was that?
This was the Tailoring. And this
was that the one at...
The one that was... Well, a couple of them have been a disaster. No, great. But like behind the scenes, it was like an hour late show. It was.
Oh, yes.
But you know, fashion, right? You can't control.
Fashion shows are always late.
You can't control something.
No,
although this last one was immaculate. But I remember, and I was like, oh, I want to come. You're like, you want to come? And I was like, yes. And since then.
I remember that. Yeah, no, that was quite a while ago.
Thank God I've been on the roster as she gets bigger, guys. But I'm such a cheerleader and advocate for you as a person, for you as your mission and what you're doing, because I really, truly believe in quality over quantity. And
oh, absolutely.
The perfect fit, the perfect color and style, right? All mixed together, because it truly, like you said, you get to wear who you are. You get to express whatever that looks like for you. And it's such a fun and beautiful thing all at once.
Yeah. And some people are scared of it because they don't truly know like what their personal style is yet, or they have a story to tell, but they don't know how to tell it, or they don't know if it's going to be received properly, or if they're not going to be seen or heard, you know? So like so all of this really plays a very important role in how we meet with our clients, how we set up our spaces, and how we really tell the story of our company, because it is very important for us to let the individual know that it is really only about them, right? And how they want to feel. And it's our job to help them get there. And it shouldn't be a scary space. It should be welcoming and safe. And you should be able to come in and feel like absolutely seen and heard, no judgment, right? Just tell us who you are.
Yeah.
And we'll help you tell that story.
I've always felt that with you. You know? And I've always felt you're like, it's okay if you're simple and classic, and it's okay if you like, I know that you love to push like, oh, you want to try this? This is fun.
Well, yeah,
but I think it's not pushing as much as it is like having someone explore the options of what this could look like. And sometimes even with me, because I don't have that creative of a vision with creating pieces. And so when I see them come on the runway, I'm just like, oh my God, like that looks so great. Or I would just like, I could do a little bit of this and a little bit of that and make something that was truly who I was. And just, I think the ability for someone to see a really cool piece, like you said, the tailoring with the streetwear, is such a interesting, like it just melds together.
That's the most fun part for us, I think, is helping someone discover like how they want to be conceived, you know? So,
and you create such confidence. And talk about, it's like, can you tell me about like a particular story that stands out for you, that maybe like you took someone from here to here?
That's kind of hard to pinpoint.
Okay.
because, and I say this because all of our clients come in with their very own unique story and their own unique challenges, right? So we work with them, each and every one of them, in a special way, right? Because everybody has a different challenge that they're trying to overcome, their own vulnerabilities, and the kind of work that they're looking for us to help them with. But what has been very inspirational for us and makes us feel like we did something amazing at the end of the day is when we really meet a client who comes in and they have been pushed around their whole life. They don't really know where they fit in. They are coming in a little scared, right? A little vulnerable. They don't really know what to expect. But the moment they walk in, they feel absolutely welcomed and they let their guard down and have really vulnerable conversations surrounding their body, their identity, their size, their budget, their lifestyle. You know, everything that happens, we take all of that in and then we create, you know, starting from sketches to looking at fabrics, really having this conversation. And then, you know, like 10 weeks later, they come in and they try it on, and the joy that comes from just from inner self, right? The joy that's coming from within. You can't really fake that, you know, that ultimate joy at the end where they're like, this is who I've been wanting to, well, this is who I want the world to see me as for so long that I couldn't communicate it. But now it's here.
You did it for them.
And then, you know, it's like a collaborative effort. And the tailoring is very collaborative. Like we, you know, that's why I always say like we are not really a brand in the sense where we have like our own style, right? Because it is truly about the individual. You know, so when someone asks me like, what is your house style like? I'm like, well, I don't really have one. Because everything is
it's truly
custom to whoever is in front of me, right? So we don't have like a house style or template or anything that we work with. Everything we make is completely from scratch, because you can't really be truly custom if you're already working with your own ideas in mind, you know?
Yeah.
So to go back to your original question, like those little moments is what inspire us to do more of this every single day. You know, that like sheer joy and confidence that comes when we open the curtains and they walk out, and or even just their friends and family that's with them, you know, like their joy of seeing, you know, their friend, their partner come out and feeling absolutely like themselves is also really good to see.
Well, I have a lot of good stories for you. I just have all of my, especially my mom, there's something that she's gone through self-discovery in the last year with finding finally her right colors, finding her style, knowing that it's okay to be soft and romantic and more of the shawl and like the softer colors. But the suits that you've made for her, with all of the things that she's, you know, put into them and you design and put in, she is like a completely transformation of someone that was she's an introvert by nature.
Yes.
And quiet, but has gotten to be able to have a voice of her own. And everyone sees it and everyone compliments her and everyone sees her step into her power because it's something that you created for her.
I saw that on her TED Talk.
Yeah.
She was glowing.
Yes.
Like, so
it truly has, you know, transformed me and my identity and other clients that I've brought to you, and it continue because I just have such, like, I know what's to experience and what that looks like.
Yeah.
Can you just give like, if we're talking about the tailoring, can you give like maybe just more of a breakdown of like if someone wanted to come see you, let's just say they were able to book an appointment, and you kind of just go through a couple of the steps so that they're maybe they're a little afraid. Like, I don't know, like it seems too, you know, serious or whatever, but like, and let them know that it's so much fun, guys.
The process is very simple. You book an appointment, and we do offer a preview session for people who are like very unsure of how the process works or unsure if this is the right kind of route for them to take. So we do offer a preview where you can meet me, you can meet Dylan or someone else from our design team to kind of go over our process, how the fittings will go, what kind of fabrics you carry, certain styles that we have. You can even look at some samples that we've made. And then when you're fully ready and committed to go, then you can book a full design session. So our process always starts with that full design session. You come in, we have a full bar, you know. If you're not drinking, good. We have non-alcoholic drinks as well. But you come in, you just kind of talk with us. You know, the first part of the design session is going to be a lot of like talking through your ideas or the event that you're attending or your own wedding. What is it that you envision? So after that, we do some sketches. We look at fabrics. You know, we pick everything from inside out, top to bottom, like every little details you get to pick. You get to pick everything. So then after you do that, we take your body measurements and also do a little bit of posture analysis, because we are really truly making the pattern fit you and not the other way around. So it is that's probably, I would say, like the most uncomfortable, intense session, is because I'm really taking every inch of your body. But we try to make that as comfortable as possible.
It's totally comfortable.
Yeah.
Guys. It's not awkward at all.
But most people are like, oh my God, I just get measured. I don't want to. But, you know, it's a very safe and comfortable space to do that. And after we do that, depending on your garment, we'll do either a muslin fitting, which is just a test garment, for you to just try it on and see if there's any changes you want to make, or how you see the fit. Like, do you see the fit fitting you the way you want? We can also change that. So that session is really important, because you get to really understand yourself a little better too. Because sometimes you may think you want something very fitted, but then when you have it on, you're like, oh, actually, I don't like the way this looks. I want a little bit boxier. Or it could be vice versa. You think you want something super oversized, but then when you have it on, you're like, wait, I think I want something more fitted, right? So all of these conversations we have with you during that session. And then once we confirm the style, the sizing, the details, then we cut into your real fabric. And then once that's done, you come in and try it on. And then just from then on, it's a series of very small, minor kind of alterations to get the perfect fit. Because sometimes a half an inch here, a quarter inch there can take you from like looking, okay, it's like custom to like immaculate.
Snatched.
Yeah, exactly. Snatched. And it's all the little things. Like some people don't know that, right? It's all like, it comes down to like the hemline. That half an inch of break can make or break the outfit. And nobody really know that until they have it on and they work with our pattern makers and master tailors and really take a look. The whole process, not gonna lie, is a long one. It's not instant gratification. You don't just get to go in, buy something, and then be like, oh, I got the outfit, right? This is gonna be an investment of time because it is gonna be at least 10 to 12 weeks. It gets a little easier and fast. I mean, you know this, right? It gets a little easier and faster once we have your pattern and once you know your style and we know what kind of fabrics you like. But for first-time clients, it's an investment of time.
Yeah.
You know, but it's also an investment in yourself, right? Because you are coming in and you're exploring yourself, you're exploring your style, your identity. Like you're working with, you know, experts to kind of do everything you wanted to do. So
yeah. No, I'm glad that you said that because as you've gotten to know me, I mean, I've tried different things too, and I still will, but I'm staying in this space right now of like speaking in front of camera, so I'm not going crazy and loud. I do have some pieces, but I feel like I want some, you know, just to spice it up when I'm not on camera all the time. But I do really, I've noticed like the 3 suits I just got, like 0 tailoring. Not even. Like it was a one shot. Boop. Okay, I got you down.
Yeah, because we got your pattern down.
Yeah. But it took a minute because before when I first got some done, I was 15 pounds heavier. And so, so it's just like knowing that I'm in this space now for hopefully ever.
Yeah, it's easier to do.
It's easier, but I like that you did mention that because, the first time you come to see, like, people have to understand, like, it's a process.
Yeah.
It's fun and exciting, but it could take like 4 months to completion. Especially
the first time.
Yeah.
Because I'm also getting to know you, right? I'm getting to know what you like and how you want to perceive yourself. And once we know that, it's, it gets a lot easier.
Yeah.
And the thing about custom clothing that you mentioned, that, you were a little bit heavier before, right? So with custom, because everything is completely made to your body proportions, even if you gain a little weight or you lose a little weight, the garment will still somewhat fit you. You can still kind of wear it. Just be a little tight or a little loose here, Yeah. But because the proportions is made to you, you can very easily, like with a little bit of alterations, salvage that or still wear it. So that is a great investment piece because it will kind of just like live with you and like move with you and grow with you, So it's like not something like you buy off the rack, you buy for one season. If you gain a little weight, it's no longer going to look right because the proportions is not there, right? It's made for like a body that isn't yours. So
there's in off the rack, there's not a lot of inseam room.
No, there's
anyhow,
no allowance,
right?
zero. Okay. And in custom, there's at least 2.5 inches everywhere.
Oh, So. That's a beautiful thing.
Yeah, so you can always let it out 2.5 inches. And you can also take it in a little, but...
And you get to really create, like you said, your own color. There's colors that this example for this suit, you cannot, even if I wanted to find something similar in the store.
No, this color's not on,
nowhere.
You're not finding this off the rack.
And I'm glad because this me, like, and that's who it's unique. It's one of a kind.
Yeah. So with, also when you're buying off the rack in fashion, you're buying into what's currently trending, right? So like this year's color is like mocha mousse or something. Like you're probably going to see mocha mousse everywhere. But is mocha mousse the right color for you? Probably not, right? Like it's not going to be right for everyone.
Yeah.
But when you're shopping off the rack, you're kind of beholden to that. You're trying to find something that works for you within what the fashion industry is saying that currently you should be wearing. Right. But that doesn't speak to everybody. So that's where like the fashion comes in with the tailoring, right? Now with Shao, it's like a ready to wear brand, right? So with that with that brand, it's a little bit different because what you're buying into is my vision, right? You're buying into the story that I'm telling. But if you love my story, then you can come in and buy the pieces somewhere, right? And then make it your own. So there's like two different ways that I am doing fashion, I guess.
Yeah.
You know?
Tell me a little bit more about that, about how would someone get a piece from your Shao collection?
Well, we're on a second collection now, right? We just launched in February, which is the show you went to. And you can now buy it online. It's going to still be direct to consumer. We're still trying to keep it a little personal, right? Like you could, I'm sure eventually as any fashion business grows, you'll be able to find it a little bit more readily available at like other bigger retailers. But right now we're keeping it very direct to consumer. So we can still have the conversation with the clients. Like you bought this beautiful, big shoulder pink leather jacket. Like what made you want to buy it? Like what speaks to you about this jacket, right? Or just get feedback like, I love the way it fits, or like I wish it came in black, or we still want to have a little bit of that personal touch with the consumer, because I think that's what makes a difference between a true brand and just like a brand that just want to sell to everybody, right? Because I'm not going to be for everybody, and I know that.
That's okay.
But I think I think that's okay, and I think that's the beauty in it. You're buying into a story and vision that you really resonated with you and really speaks to you, and now you want to make it your own.
Tell me a little bit about your story for that last show.
Well, it's all a personal one, but it's great. Because you said
the brand is personal.
The brand is personal to me. So you're always going to see little snippets of my upbringing, my life, my heritage, my culture, New York City, because I grew up here.
Yeah.
The grit, you're going to see a lot of that. And also like my love for tailoring, right? So it's always going to be present. It's like a part of the DNA of the brand. Also leather, denim, really beautiful Italian wools. Like that's never going away. Will I do like lacy dresses? I don't know, maybe at some point if that speaks to me. But the last show was based on Shanghai 1930s, right? It's one of the periods that I love absolutely the most in Chinese history. I read a lot of novels, a lot of books on that period alone, because there's something so dangerous and sexy and rebellious about that era that I absolutely love. So I drew a lot of inspiration from that time and translated into streetwear, which is not something you would see in Shanghai because it's like furs and gowns and beads, right? But there was such a fun collection for me to design because I really love all the glamour and the sexiness of that era. But then like I wanted to do it in like the fluidity and the grit of New York City, which is like the perfect fusion of what I'm kind of about, right? So with like the help of like Altoran, our stylist, we really came up with a beautiful story within the clothes. And then under, Michael Eland, who creative directed the whole show, like at the House of Red Pearl, and like how the music flows and the models, like everything just kind of came to life. And it was like one of the best projects I've worked on.
It was magical. Yeah,
I thought that was magical too for me. Like just seeing like, it really was like a truly what I envisioned, the fusion of like 1930 Shanghai and like New York City in 2025. Like what would that look like? And that's how I envisioned it.
It's the first time that I saw you so excited and happy. Like you've been happy. You're not a miserable person, but I don't mean that, or unhappy. I just saw you shine like a diamond. Like this was your moment. And it was such, as someone who's known you for so long, I got emotional because you got emotional. And it was just like so beautiful to see your vision come, and you're part of like this new era for you.
Yeah.
I'm just so excited for you.
I think that was like the launch. I know it was like maybe like that was the third collection I did maybe for Shao New York, but for me, that was my debut. That was like the launch of what the Shao brand is really about. You know, like I handpicked everybody I wanted to work with. I have an amazing team with me, and we really sat there and like curated something that was truly the vision. And there was no outside voices. There was no outside opinion. It was just us. And we want to tell a story a certain way, and we did. And that's just the beginning.
Yeah, I can't wait. So what is next for you right now?
A lot. Celeste knows this about me. I don't really get a lot of sleep because I'm always on to the next thing. Well, tailoring is, you know, taking off. I mean, I don't want to say taking off, but like tailoring's been a staple, right? And we have a lot of exciting things coming up with the tailoring. We're launching e-com for, you know, because our price point is higher. So we're launching e-com where you can purchase tailoring, our tailoring, and suits and jumpsuits for formal wear that is at a slightly lower price point because we do want it to be accessible and we want to bring tailoring to the world. So we are launching that. We're doing Bridal Fashion Week in October. So our design team is designing away on that. We're launching wedding gowns. So that is also something that's coming up.
Wow.
And it'll be custom, right? Because wedding gowns, I feel like, is also something that it's very hard to find one that has everything you want, right? That is going to tell your story on your big day exactly the way you want. So we saw a need for that as well, because we are having requests from people coming in like, can you make me a gown? Can you make me a cocktail dress? Can you make me a reception dress? So we are going to launch that soon. But other than that, we're trucking along.
Other than all of those projects.
We're like meeting our clients, you know, like doing their fittings and like just, you know, encouraging people to be who they are, who they want to be, right? And who they are. So that's what we're doing for the tailoring. For Shao New York, it's our next fashion show is in September. So between now and September, we're obviously designing. We're looking at what the venue is going to be like next, what our theme is, and also trying to get up the e-com for the past two collections so that now you can actually buy it. So
not, you know, just
little
things.
Little things in fashion. Like, you know, and in the meantime, dressing celebrities for award shows and whatnot. So,
and that's really kind of blown up for you in the last couple years?
Yeah.
Or?
We have a really great PR team behind us. So
thank God.
Yeah, we love.
Yes.
Shout out to Jane and Jane at Lur. Yeah, we love them. They've been very supportive and I think it's working. I think this like partnership is working really well because they really believe in the brand. Mm-hmm. They believe in our aesthetic, and we believe in what they do best too. So just having two people that fully trust each other and let them do what they need to do, it goes a really long way. So they've gotten a lot of opportunities for us. We have, I'm not going to say which ones yet, but we have some cover shoots coming up. We have some polls that's really cool. Will Smith wore our stuff today. I mean, you know, little things like that. I think little small wins and
that
wins. Gets a bigger win.
Come on, girl.
Yeah. You know what I mean.
Just trying to be humble.
But they've been really great. So and they have big plans for us, and I'm really excited to continue working with them and seeing where it goes. But yeah, we're just like growing, working, and
doing the damn things.
Doing what we have to do. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, and I appreciate you. This is her day off, guys.
Yeah. Well, I don't know if it's my day off.
Well, you know,
it is supposed to be my day off,
but it's supposed to be, but
it turned into a work day.
I appreciate you being here.
I love taking
the time.
Of course, I would be here. Anything for you.
And then taking the time to see a few clients after. Yeah, make it fast. But I just feel honored to watch your story and to see you grow because you're a badass boss woman and I'm the same. And it's just like to see other women really succeed in their own field and expertise. It's just beautiful to watch. So
thank you.
I'm just so proud of you from all the things that you keep doing and pushing and just really, you know, being striving for the best. So
thank
it's
you.
very visible.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, to me anyway. It's to the world too, because
Yeah.
you're seeing stuff happen. And so I'm excited for you. But is there anything that I missed, anything that you want to tell the audience, anything? And if not, it's okay too.
No, I think we covered a lot.
Okay.
Right?
Okay, good.
Yeah.
Well, thanks for coming on the show.
Thank you for having me. This was fun.
Yay. It's better than the last. It was virtual last time.
It was virtual. Yeah.
It's not as fun.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was fun. It's always fun to see people in person and do things in person.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. All right. Well, good. I can't wait to do, what's next. So.
Yeah. Stay tuned.
Stay tuned. Yes. All right. Thank you. That's awesome.